For fast, cheap, and reliable Madden 20 Ultimate Team coins, make sure you guys go check out my sponsor U4GM Coins. Use code VENM at checkout for 5% off. Yo, what's good guys? Venom Fire here, back in the video, and today I'll be going over another coverage defense. Now this is one that's super good just because it's out of the big nickel over G. Now I've gone over cover 4 palms out of a couple of other formations, but this one probably actually is the best just because of how scared people get at big nickel over G. Nobody really expects, cover 4 palms out of this formation. Now, it will be better if you do have some D-line chems, I'll say that, but you won't need it for the coverage to be really good. You'll just need it so you can get a little bit of pressure eventually. But just the good thing about this cover 4 palms is that you can switch between this, not only this play, but the cover 2 and cover 3, and you can do a really nice job of confusing your opponent. But with that being said, let's just go ahead, come out straight in the play. Now, I want to talk about some of the most popular formations, showcase how they get completely boxed by this play. Now, the first one's going to be gun bunch. I'll probably hop into tight as well, but typically palms is going to be stronger against these compressed formations. And what I mean by that is just formations that all the receivers are close to each other. You know that you're trying to hit corner routes as you are in this formation as well as tight. So with that being said, first things first, you can really run this 2 different ways right off the bat. First way you could run it is you could go ahead baseline press. Now this is a way that I've ran it and it still will work both ways. So again, let's just come straight out here, and I'll just hop on a D lineman so nothing gets messed up. Let's just run simple stock deep corner. So let's snap the ball and I'll throw this. He's completely boxed. Now that was the first way to run it, and again you see pretty much everything was covered. I'll showcase it again here. This time I'll utilize a max protect because even when I don't max protect, it changes up the palms coverage a little bit more. So here you guys see completely bagged, everything is covered. Now like I said, you could run this 2 different ways. It doesn't really make any difference the way that you do choose to run it. I'm just going to go over both sides, but the way that I like to run it specifically out of this form is I like to just simply press without a baseline. Now, one thing I've noticed out of this play, which is pretty weird, take a look at the D-line. For whatever reason, they have this orange blitzing. Now, I don't know why that even exists, but it is a slower sort of pass rush. So the way I like to do it, and the way I've noticed that you get the best sheds with those orange blitz assignments, is I like to just shift my D-line to the right. Now you'll notice when you do that, Harrison Smith's going to get a little caught up, so you want to move him just a couple of steps, not that big of a deal. And anyways, always when you're using palms, the player you're going to use is this player. Now this could vary depending on formation. I'll go over that a little bit later, but against bunch you're going to use him. Now you guys are probably wondering, what about this one play touchdown out of bunch? What if they go ahead, take a look at Devontae Adams? He should be wide open here, and he actually didn't, but I'll try and show it again here. Sometimes when you run stock verticals and you press like that, the corner actually gets burnt. So I'm going to try and set it up again here. Like I said, it's not guaranteed, but the animation does happen a lot. So take a look at Devontae Adams here. Again, he gets, for whatever reason, he's getting bumped off. I'll see if I can get it. Otherwise, you'll just have to take my word for it because it definitely does happen. So let's press here and snap the ball. All right, there, we got the animation. So he does get beat off the press very quickly, and that's not because of stats, because I've done this on 90 plus 99 overall corners. But this is going to be, this is literally just the key issue with palms. Let's take a look. Devontae Adams. This is what happens sometimes. Obviously we didn't get the animation 2 times in a row, but I've found that probably the majority of the time they're going to get this animation where he's just not going to play it. And the reason that you wouldn't be able to just shade over the top, I mean you can, but it sort of does actually cancel the palms and the match coverage. So I could shade over the top if I wanted to, but the way that I personally like to do it is, again, what I'm going to do is just man him up like this. Now, even if I man him up, I still can get burnt just because I'm not shading over the top. So what I do is I just move him back a couple of steps like this. It's not going to matter that he's pressed completely, but this will do just enough to completely stop the verticals route that he wants to run. So here I'll just call verticals, move him back, snap the ball, and you guys see he's right on him right there. So that's just a simple counter to a beater that a lot of people know out of bunch specifically. But with that being said, let's hop into this other strategy. I'll show the corner out, just press. So again, I'm just going to completely press my defense. I'm not baselined. And again, I like to go ahead and actually shift my D-line to that right side. Again, the one thing you're doing is just going to move Harrison Smith just a couple of steps so that him and Hunter aren't, stacked together. And, let's say they go try to run their cover 3 beater. Now, this is probably the best cover 3 beater out of bunch. Just a simple deep corner. So let's go ahead, hike the ball here. You guys see everything's bagged. The corner out's bagged. The comeback is bagged. And for whatever reason, Jesus, we cannot get pressure. But we do eventually get the pressure. And yeah, that's pretty much everything's bagged. Let's say they run verticals. They're going to run something. Maybe they run it like this. This is probably my favorite vertical setup. So again, I'm just going to press. I'm going to man up that corner on him. And then I'm just going to, I could also crash down. Now, there's not really a good way to get sheds, because typically the best way to get sheds out of big nickel is just to pinch your D-line like this. And you will get some pretty good sheds from like Danielle Hunter. If he was on the left side, he would have got a glitchy shed animation, but unfortunately out of the cover 4 palms, we don't have that. So you just got to try and do some other things. Again, just maybe you can pinch D-line, crash down. Usually you'll have to contain anyways if you're facing someone scrambling, so that isn't even too big of an issue. But again, all you're doing is just going to man him up. You're going to move him back a couple of steps. Shouldn't be an issue on time, especially with these passers. They're going to set up their offense, set up their hot routes for a pretty long period of time anyways, so you should have all the time in the world. But again, let's just try a vertical setup. Maybe I run it like this. And a lot of people just max protect, maybe do something similar to this. So I go ahead, snap the ball. That player is going to be pretty much bagged over the top. Obviously, if Harrison Smith isn't like the 85 speed he is, so he will get burnt on that. But that's why even probably the best way to defend verticals is just a baseline press, because when you do that, he just gets way more boxed than he did. So if you see them continue to run verticals, maybe it burns you once, the best way is probably to baseline press. But like I said, I would come out in a game and try out both these, see which one gives him more trouble. Typically, when people just see the press, it can just make them a little bit nervous rather than the baseline press where they feel like they have a little bit more space to operate. But let's come out in this Y out now. Again, it's going to be a corner route based offense, a compressed set on offense. So typically, again, I'm going to just press. You could also just pinch your defense, but when you do that, it kind of messes it up, at least out of this formation. So typically, it's just better to press. Again here, I might want to move him over a little bit, but for the most part, everything is going to be, completely bagged. Let's say they run something like this, drag, corner out. This is probably one of my favorite setups out of tight, but again, you don't really have to ban anybody up out of this, which is nice because you can keep your quarter, you can keep whatever you want. All you're going to do is user this streak, because you saw he did kind of get messed up there. Now, typically against Y out and this tight offset, I personally prefer to go ahead and baseline press. And against tight, what I'm doing is I'm always going to user this strong safety here, because out of tight, what people are usually doing, and this really does depend if they have like a slot apprentice, but typically what they're doing is they want to throw this corner out to Adams, because this corner out to Jimmy Graham is pretty god awful. So what they want to do really is just throw that. So again, let's maybe set up our route combo. Maybe they go with a Max Pro, and you really don't have to make any adjustments. So even if you are getting quick snaps, whatever the case is. And yeah, you guys see everything is completely boxed. Obviously, late in the play, someone might break off and get wide open, but typically against tight, the move to defend it is going to be baseline press. Now, you guys saw that first play, pressing, it opened up a little bit of holes, but look at this baseline press. Look at our outside quarter. If he's, completely aligned to the receiver, if he's not base aligned, which means he's right on number 81, Allison, he's not going to be able to defend this corner out, but because he is base aligned, he's going to completely defend that. We have our free safety right there defending the streak route. And then as far as our user, we maybe defend, if there is a corner route on the right side, then he should be defended pretty well by our outside quarter. And then maybe we watch a drag or a sit route, maybe a curl, whatever the case is. So again, I'll show you the difference. This is just press. Let's run the same setup. Take a look at the corner route. It is wide open. So when I press, Harrison Smith, for whatever reason, gets matched on, which is not what you want to defend the corner routes. And this is a problem that I see a lot of people do. You're probably wondering why your palms just isn't as strong, and it's because you're not baseline pressing. So that really is the difference between, you know, completely defending a corner route and it being, you know, wide open. So here I throw it, and for whatever reason we got the worst click on. It's difficult for me to click on when I have two controllers, but everything is bagged. And yeah, keep in mind that Harrison Smith will be able to match that even better, but he is so slow that he's going to get burned by any man-beating route in this game. But that's pretty much going to do it. Like I said, I usually stick to palms against compressed sets. If they were to audible to maybe a Trey Y flex, I would stick with a cover 3 cloud or a cover 2, whatever you want, because palms against these formations sometimes just gets messed up for whatever reason. Maybe just like I always find out against these types of formations that streaks just always get wide open, and I'm not sure why that is, but sometimes, like right there, you can just beat him off the line of scrimmage, and we got the worst offensive animation. But if that's 99 speed player, he's going to be wide open. So definitely against spread formations, you want to get out of palms. If you see somebody running palms and you're on offense, that's what I like to do. I like to spread my offensive set out, because you'll usually be able to find someone wide open for a touchdown, or you'll be able to just dink and dunk your way down the field with ease. But with that being said, that's going to do it for the video. If you guys enjoyed, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 10K for Madden 21, so make sure you are subscribed if these videos are helping. Let me know in the comments any suggestions you would like to see. Hit that follow button on Twitter, first link in the description, and peace. I'm out of here.